Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our August Power and Partnership Breakfast, sponsored by Mercy Health. We're so appreciative of the continued support that we have from them, and we're very thankful for your continued support. We hope you took we weren't able to have the free health screenings today. As you can understand, we made some adjustments yesterday as McCracken County went into the red zone. So I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for supporting us. We are so determined that we're going to keep having events and keep bringing people together. So if wearing a mask, thank you. So if wearing a mask and having boxed meals makes those changes, let's just live with them and let's move on and let's keep seeing each other and getting together. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Today, we're so excited to have a community update, and I asked them all to share something new. I'm not sure they are, but I'm hoping that they are. So we'll bring those up in a few minutes, but we have Berkeley Regional Airport. Of course, they have a lot of stuff going on. Codify Sprocket, same thing with them, and Greater Paducah Economic Development, big news ahead. So we'll look forward to hearing from you guys in just a few minutes. But today we're also going back in time and honoring Leadership Paducah Class 33 for their official graduation. You may be thinking we're doing a lot of Leadership Paducah these days, and we are, because we kind of got behind a little bit with COVID. But I didn't want them to have graduation on Zoom, so we kind of kept waiting until we came back in person. Last month was Class 34, so we're going back in time for Class 33, and we'll do that in just a few minutes. But we do have some new members today. I'm going to recognize Fox Harbor Apartments, Oak Crest Apartments, Walden Park Place Townhomes. And I will say we've had a lot of apartments joining because we get a lot of calls of people looking for apartments, and we only refer chamber members, so we've had a lot joining us. Muhlenberg Job Corps Center, the Salt of the Earth Halo Therapy, Chavesty by Dream Partners, Ellis Crappie Shack, Live Bait and Tackle, Quad State Internet, and Kentucky Publishing. And today we also have 2 tables worth of new members that we've been hoping would be able to come. Some of them we've already introduced at previous breakfasts this year, and some of them are new today. So would you guys stand so we could say welcome to the chamber? Come on. Yeah. Thank you very much for putting your trust in us. We appreciate it. There will be a ribbon cutting on August 10th at 1 o'clock, 413 Broadway at Chavesty by Dream Partners. And then Kentucky Care is having their big grand opening and ribbon cutting on August 26th from 2 to 3:30 at 3660 Wayne Sullivan Drive at their new location. It's beautiful, and they really hope that all of us can join us. 2 quick announcements for the Paducah Young Professionals. They're having a blood drive, and yes, we need your blood. I'm just going to put it that way. August 12th, it's at the Commerce Center. Please sign up. You can do it online at redcrossblood.org, and it's the Paducah Area Chamber is how it's listed for that. Or there's a table out in the hallway. You can sign up today on your way out. We have about 25 slots to fill, and we really need your blood. And then they're going to have their popular event, Take Your Boss to Lunch Day, on August 16th, and you can learn about all of our events at paducahchamber.org. So Dr. Reese, come on up. It's my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the Paducah Chamber Board for 2021 and the president of WKCTC, West Kentucky Community and Technical College, Dr. Anton Reese.
Thank you, Sandra. Good morning. Thank you so much, Sandra. And I do bring greetings for our August Chamber Breakfast meeting. As Sandra mentioned, it is very, very important that we do continue on with our events in person. We recognize the adjustments that we are all doing wearing our masks, so definitely want to encourage you all to continue wearing your masks. There's a dual benefit because some of you look better with masks on anyway, so that's just your tip for today. How's that? I would like to, at this point, ask all of the board members of the chamber to please stand to be recognized. Our board members, please join me in welcoming. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, have a seat. We'd also like to recognize our elected officials and our VIPs. Morgan Alvey, field representative from Office of Leader Mitch McConnell. State Senator Danny Carroll, our Mayor George Bray, Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem Sandra Wilson, Commissioner Ray Henderson, Commissioner David Guess, County Judge Executive Craig Clymer, he's passing out the United We Stand stickers, Commissioner Bill Bartleman, Commissioner Eddie Jones, and Bill Dunn, our Property Valuation Administrator. Please give them all a round of applause. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for your continued service. Today we want to welcome to Paducah 3 new leaders in our community. We have joining us, and I will ask them to stand. Say it again?
They're right over there.
Oh, okay, yeah, right over there. First, Darren Jordan, who is our new city manager. Matt Collinsworth, the new Chief Executive Officer of the National Quilt Museum. Justin Brasher, the new McCracken County Public Library Director. Welcome to all of you. And thanks to Rachel Norton, who is the board chair for the Library and Quilt Museum. What a year you've had as well. Thank you for your hard work. Well, we're getting very close. In just about over a month, the Chamber will be hosting our annual meeting and business celebration on Thursday night, September 9th. So be sure that you lock that in on your calendar. It will be in person at the Julian Carroll Convention Center. We will celebrate and honor our local businesses and individuals who did so much for our community in 2020. Again, we recognize this has been a challenging year. It took teamwork and tenacity. So that's our theme for this year. Our local business and citizens will be recognized with the Chamber's annual awards. Sponsorships and individual tickets are now available, so please seize that opportunity. Also next month, we will kick off our annual membership and total resource campaign on September 2nd at the September Power in Partnership Breakfast, and that campaign will run through October 14th. Corey Hicks of Four Rivers Nuclear Partnership and the 2021 Chamber Board-elect will lead the campaign as chairman. We've recruited some dynamic team captains and will recognize them at the September breakfast. The teams are forming now, so if you are interested in getting more involved in the Chamber and in the community, we would love to have you on board. Put that another way. Ask not what the Chamber can do for you, but what you can do for the Chamber. Volunteers can expand their business and community contacts while helping the Chamber become even stronger and more vital for our businesses in the future. And finally, yes, we are still planning to go to Washington, D.C. in September. We believe in the power of our advocacy efforts, and we know this year, being in D.C. with a new administration and agency officials is more important than ever. It is now my pleasure to introduce our sponsor for this month's breakfast, Mercy Health. Speaking today is Mike Youngman, the president of Mercy Health. Mike.
Well, Dr. Reese, for a select few of us, masks are not enough. Perhaps paper bags would have been a better option, so, okay. But good morning. Mercy Health Lourdes Hospital is proud to sponsor this year's Chamber Breakfast, and very different year this year. Last year we did this virtually, so this is an improvement, not perfect yet, but I appreciate everyone's attention to social distancing and wearing masks. I know everyone's tired of masks, but with the recent outbreak, I think that it's appropriate to see people remaining vigilant at this time. You know, during this past year, we changed a lot at Mercy Health Lourdes Hospital. We adapted many of our processes to make sure that we kept our patients safe, and I'm proud to say so. The hospitals have been a very safe place, and I've been encouraged to see people getting out and getting the health care that they really need. But I do have to give a special thank you to all of our healthcare workers in the community, not just those at Mercy Health Lourdes, but throughout the entire community. They have really done an excellent job rushing to the front lines. They truly need to be commended for their service and their dedication to our community and our patients. So if we can please applaud the healthcare workers. In spite of the pandemic and the response, we've continued to move forward with several services. and one of which is a new occupational health and well-being center that is now located at our Paducah Medical Pavilion, and that is a service that is brought to us by an affiliate, Harness Health Partners. And we do have some Harness Health folks here today. If you have any questions about Harness Health, the middle table, would you please raise your hand, the Harness Health folks. So what Harness Health offers is a myriad of occupational health and services to our area businesses. And all of our businesses have unique healthcare needs, and our goals are to return their workers back to service as quickly as possible after an injury or an illness, but also focusing on the well-being of all of their workers as well. So we have a ton of services. I'm not going to recite them on the slide here, but please, if you have any questions, go ahead and access one of our Harness Health folks, and they would be glad to give you some more information. You do have some flyers on your tables as well that you may take with you. I regret that they could not do the blood pressure screenings and other screenings that they'd intended to this morning, but for obvious reasons, they are still here in attendance otherwise, but we're not going to be having that close personal contact today. We also continue to grow our area's largest provider network, and we have added several new physicians this past year. One is Dr. Kadoud, who's a pulmonary and critical care specialist and also sleep medicine certified. Dr. Kadoud joined us from Eastern Kentucky, and he is already getting extremely busy with his practice, and I think you'll find him very approachable and adaptable, and he's just a great fit for our ministry, as well as Dr. Clinton Kaufman. Dr. Kaufman is a new general surgeon to the community and to Mercy Health. And Dr. Kaufman came to us from Litchfield, where he has practiced for a few years, but he has family ties in the region, and so we're proud to bring back someone who has those ties and who is very interested in being here in Western Kentucky. We also brought in some primary care providers, Dr. Rose Manalo, and also Dr. Jeremy Webb, and two fine primary care physicians who are also becoming busier in their practice. And I know that when you meet them, you will agree that they're just a tremendous fit for our already outstanding team of physicians. We've also seen tremendous growth in our cardiology services. Over this past year, we implemented transcatheter aortic valve replacement procedures, or TAVR procedures, and already, I'm told by the numbers, we are one of the busiest programs in the state. That just demonstrates how much demand there was in this area for those advanced services. We're also the first ones to bring some other new services to Western Kentucky, and that would be mitral valve procedures utilizing a device called a MitraClip, and that helps to relieve the backflow from the blood through your mitral valve in your heart, another advanced, minimally invasive procedure, and also Watchman devices too for AFib that help with blood clots as well. Some of the providers attached to that are Dr. Abdal Al-Manfi. If we can go back a slide. If we can go back one more slide, please. Dr. Abdal Al-Manfi. Okay, nope. Yeah, okay, you were on the proper one before. Dr. Abdal Al-Manfi, he is a structural heart fellowship-trained cardiologist, the only one in the region, and he is at the forefront of our structural heart program. We also have a very talented interventional cardiologist that's relatively new to the community. Dr. Anil Manny joined us from Long Island, New York, about a year and a half ago, and he's a tremendous addition to our team as well. And within the past 2 weeks, we've also brought in a new cardiologist who's a non-invasive cardiologist but specializes in cardiac imaging, and that is Dr. Simone Fearon, who came to us from Appleton, Wisconsin. So all of this has been made possible by our amazing team and providers. And again, thank you today for joining me and for allowing me a few moments to speak. Now, if I may occupy the podium for just a few more minutes, I do have an award to present, and that is the 2021 Partner for Common Sense Justice Award. And this will be awarded to Senator Danny Carroll. So, Danny, if you could please come forward. And this is presented on behalf of the Kentucky Chamber. This last year presented our state with unprecedented challenges and many uncertainties that plagued small business, healthcare providers, and educators. Many businesses' backs were against the ropes. Our teachers were trying to connect and provide an education and support services to students in a virtual world. and our healthcare sector was working around the clock to provide care for citizens. That is why the Paducah Chamber joined with 60 other groups to publicly support Senate Bill 5. This bill provides liability protection for healthcare providers, businesses, organizations, schools, and individuals who have reopened and are following recommended guidelines amid the coronavirus pandemic. It relates only to COVID-19 and was viewed as an essential piece of legislation getting Kentucky's economy back up and going again. On behalf of the Partnership of Common Sense Justice, a coalition of groups and citizens who want a better legal climate in Kentucky, we are proud to present Senator Carroll the 2021 Partner for Common Sense Justice Award. Senator Carroll.
Sandra just said I had 30 minutes. Is that right? 30 seconds, okay. I missed the days when Red Zone referred to a football game. It's good to be here, and two things I want you all to know. First, you need to know that this chamber fights for you in Frankfort. This chamber, the state chamber, and all the chambers throughout the Commonwealth are a very strong voice in Frankfort, and it is a voice that is heard very loudly, and we appreciate all the efforts. The second thing I want you to know is you have a legislature, both chambers, who are very supportive of you and realize that your success is paramount to the success of this Commonwealth. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, let's get some people moving. Leadership Paducah, class 33, you guys want to come on up here? And they were the first class impacted by COVID-19. They started in August of 2019 and then completed their class in July of 2020, and here we are in August of 2021. So we're a little bit behind. You guys get in alphabetical order. I'm hoping since you graduated from Leadership Paducah, y'all can do that over there by yourselves. Dr. Reese and Nick Morris, who was the immediate past chair of Leadership Paducah Alumni Association, would come up here. Cindy's going to pass the awards to you to congratulate everyone. Once you've shaken hands with each other, go back to the hand sanitizer. So thank you. They had a great experience. We did shut down in March of 2020. We went back, came back together in June and July, and were able to finish the class. So I'm so proud of you. It was my pleasure to get to work with you all. I will just say they did raise a lot of money. They gave over almost $113,000 to Starfish Orphan Ministry to build beds. And they were able to present that last year, yes. So they were exempt from having to give any to Leadership Paducah Alumni Association. So if you're monitoring it, and I know how the classes do, you did have a huge check that you were able to give to help build beds and help children in our area. So congratulations and thank you for doing that. So when I call your name, come on up, get your certificate, and if you would just stand over here. Jessica Asbridge, Community Financial Services Bank. Leanne Balaguer, Mercy Health. Chris Beal, Paducah Bank. Lakeela Badeau was in our class with Paducah Public Schools. And Jeremy Bumpus was also in the class. Joel Cawley, Relevant Church. Cheryl Chino, HDR Engineering. Stephen Chino, City of Paducah. A.J. Collins, Edward Jones. Anthony Copeland, Paducah Police Department, was unable to be here, and Laura Crowley with Baptist Health and Travis Drake with Mercy Health aren't here today. But we have Cade Foster, Jim Smith Contracting. See, Cade can read too. Thank you very much. Nora Gibson, Peel and Holland. We have two more not here, Bradley Haas and Jessica Hammonds. And Jacob Hayes with Swift and Staley, but this is Bridget Heflin Miller. No, there we go. I see you now. I'm here. You're here. Jessica's here. Yay, I'm glad you got to come. Jacob Hayes, Swift and Staley. Bridget Heflin Miller could not be here. Wait. Just stop. Mikkel Hillebrand, City National Bank, and Tommy Holloman, Jr. With the Housing Authority of Paducah, and now Brent Hausman with Baird.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I want to recognize those that were in the class that couldn't be here too. Jamie Jones, McCracken Public Schools, and this is Bradley Kale with Michelson Jewelers. Tiffany Looper could not be here with Strawberry Hills Pharmacy, Jennifer Lasher with UK College of Engineering, and Lauren Martin McKintry. But now we have Garrett Rackley with Williams and Lentz, Darren Ramey. Chris Reck couldn't be here, but Mariana Romario, and it's the first day of McCracken County Schools, and it's her first day in retirement, so let's give her a round of applause. What does it feel like to not be there?
Wonderful, but I had to get up early.
Abby Shelton, Rose Garden Florist. Megan Tinsley, Independence Bank. Colton Toxton, who is with Harper Industries. Ashley Turner, Jackson Purchase Energy Co-op. And T. Vincent, Paducah Water. So please help me go back and congratulate Leadership Paducah Class 33. And each year, Dr. Reese, if you would stay up here, each year the class votes on an outstanding class member. So that vote was done over a year ago, and this year's award goes to Brent Hausman. Congratulations, Brent. Come up here and get a picture with Dr. Reese. No, I can't let Brent speak. There, just get a quick picture of you two. And you all can be heading back to your seats. Thank you again for your commitment to our community. We're so proud of you and look forward to the things that you guys are going to continue to accomplish in our community. Thank you. All right, today's program is the community update, as I said, and we're going to be putting these chairs up here now. Dr. Reese, you want to grab one? I think Curtis is coming up to help us to bring our speakers up here, and I'm going to go ahead and be introducing them because it's going to be, we really wanted it to be an upbeat, a really quick lightning round type program of some new type of information to the community about your program. Now that put a lot of pressure on these three guys, and they each have 7 minutes, and Carrie's up here timing them. So that put even more pressure on them. But we're going to start with Dennis. So you guys coming up here, we have Dennis Rouleau with the airport, Dr. James Stapleton with Codify and Sprocket, and Bruce Wilcox with GPED. So it's no secret, I sure hope it's not, because we've talked about it a lot, that we have a new airport terminal very close to being under construction. Dennis Rouleau is the executive director at Barkley Regional Airport and has been with us since August of 2019 and has been in the aviation industry his entire career. Codify and Sprocket are both new buzzwords in the community. Dr. James Stapleton is the founder of Codify, based in Cape Girardeau and expanding in Paducah. Since the program launched in 2014 in Cape, its efforts have supported the launch of more than 50 startups, raised over $40 million in equity investments, and created over 250 jobs. Paducah-based Sprocket partnered with Codify in 2020 to expand its economic development programs, train more workers, and help develop tech-based businesses. And under construction right now in the Coke plant are some new offices and some new digs for you guys. Greater Paducah Economic Development is the economic development agency for our community, supported by the city and county, governments, and private investors. Bruce Wilcox is president and CEO, and his background includes economic development, business acquisition, finance, accounting, and operational management, and he's my upstairs neighbor at the Commerce Center. So we're going to go with Dennis, then Dr. Stapleton and Bruce, and Carrie's helping us keep time, so I don't have to pull you off the stage. All right, Dennis, take it away.
I had to find my mask this morning, and I happened to grab my winter mask. It's a little hot. Good morning, everyone. It was 2 years ago today that I started as the executive director for Barkley Regional Airport, and it's been a whirlwind since I started. I think the first week I started, I said, oh, by the way, the governor is going to be in town, so you need to prepare. And the next day is, a few weeks later, there's a debate, and And then we're off to Washington. And oh, by the way, we're going to Frankfurt. And so it's been a whirlwind since I started 2 years ago. And we raised a significant amount of money, and the project for the terminal is, we hadn't hired any engineers 2 years ago, but then soon after we engaged with CHA and Alliance Architects, and they say a picture's worth a few thousand words, and well, I have a few thousand words to say. This is a rendering of the terminal. Okay, since we started the design of the terminal, it became necessary or needed to add a what's called a portico off at the end of the terminal. This was a late addition to the project, but we felt it's necessary to have at least some protection to the weather. Okay, this will be the new ticket counter area. It'll resemble more like a modern hotel environment. We're using materials from around the area, the wood ceiling. The terminal will have a front porch feeling, and it'll be much more welcoming than the existing terminal that we have today. If you notice the tile on the floor, it's designed like that to simulate river feeling, since we're surrounded by 4 rivers. And in the gate area, we have 7 different seating options, and all of the seats will be powered. So you'll be able to connect your iPhone or connect your electronic device right there from the terminal. So it's going to be a business-friendly, family-friendly ticket gate area. And so this is the construction of the site. We bid out the project in multiple packages. Package 1 was the grading and drainage and the entrance road to the project. And you can see here there's about 55 acres under construction right now. And that was, this is package 1. And for those who are wondering where the new terminal is going to be built, the existing terminal is down on the, I guess, center of the screen, and the new terminal will be roughly about a mile away on a greenfield site that we have on the south side of the airport. When we designed the project, we wanted to make sure there was room for economic development for well beyond the terminal, because the terminal is just going to be the start of the activity at the airport. And so we show room for airside development. We show space for a restaurant and a hotel, and future airport parking if we're fortunate enough to get to that point. Okay, after the terminal's built, well, not after the terminal, but right now we're working on trying to bring in more air service to Barkley Regional Airport. And so we're looking at a couple of different alternatives. One is enhancing the service that we have now, and also trying to attract another airline, more activity to Barkley Regional Airport. And we were fortunate enough to be the feature article or future content of the Paducah Life magazine that's coming out shortly. And this is the cover. Let me see. I'm going to go back. And so regarding the terminal, we had package 1 that was awarded. We had the package 2, which involved the aircraft apron. We had bid openings for that. That project came in about 26% over engineer's estimate. About a week later, we had another bid opening for the actual terminal construction. The actual building and that project came in 30.5% under engineer's estimate. And the first project, we only had one bidder. The second project, or package 3, we had multiple bidders. So we saw some pretty good bids on package 3, and we'll be moving forward shortly with a recommendation on both projects. And if we're fortunate, we're hoping that we can start possibly in the fall for those 2 projects. That's all I got. How are we doing on time? Good? I thought it was going to be over. I had 1 minute. All right. I'm so nervous about.
Thank you, Dennis. It's exciting to hear about the airport renovations and expansion. It's obviously important for companies who are trying to find their way and talent into Paducah to have a facility like that. So I'm James Stapleton, the founder of Codify, and as I've gotten to know Sandra over the last year or so, wow, what a tight ship she runs. So she says, hey, I want you to speak at this thing. You have to be lively and energetic. I don't wake up until about 11 in the morning most days. She says you need to provide some new information that nobody's heard. There's been a lot of talk about what we've been doing, so that's pretty hard. What else? Oh yeah, it starts at 7 o'clock. So I had some time to think on the drive on the way over this morning at 5 o'clock in the fog. So, but I'm going to cheat. I have some prepared remarks I'm going to share with you. As Sandra mentioned, Codify is partnered with the community through Sprocket to become its economic and workforce development agency specializing in the digital economy. As we built our organization in Southeast Missouri, we learned we had to help communities quickly train skilled technicians who could work in the software-based companies we recruit and help local individuals build. So this is my version, the closest I can get to some sort of Jeff Foxworthy. I'm an old guy, so maybe nobody remembers who Jeff Foxworthy is. Well, here it is. You may know, you may not know. You may know that the city and county have invested to establish a co-working space that Sprocket will operate to provide a home for new companies and local innovators to collaborate. You may not know that this year alone, we've already raised over $2 million in state and federal funds to support the programs that we deliver to create jobs. You may know that startup tech companies are fueling much of the nation's economic growth, but you may not know that for the last 30 years, nearly all net new jobs in this region have been created by new companies. You may know we recruit tech startup companies at Codify, but you may not know that last Friday and Saturday, there were 8 startup companies from around the United States visited Paducah in hopes to win one of the relocation grants that with the community's support we provide to attract tech companies to the community. There'll be more startups visiting, and we will make an announcement in the coming weeks on the first 3 startups that are moving to Paducah, and I just burst Sandra's bubble. She was really hoping we could make an announcement this morning, but we're working on it and making good progress. You may also not know we're working with other founders, local individuals, to help build their software products that they plan to launch their businesses with this fall, and we'll be announcing with Sprocket an expansion of our software pre-accelerator program soon, and we'll be looking for 10 to 12 great ideas from local individuals for the next big thing. You may know we have helped dozens of startups in Cape Girardeau raise over $42 million in equity investments, but you may not know we'll soon be launching a local angel venture fund in which we hope to raise and invest $1 million each year in local technology-based companies. You may know that tech occupations are some of the highest paid and fastest growing jobs in the country, but you may not know that there are an estimated 1 million unfilled software developer jobs that all can be done remotely from our region. You may also not know that we launched our nationally recognized software development training program recently this summer with nearly 20 individuals starting an immersive 12-month training program to begin new high-skilled careers. You also may not know that there was such demand for the program that we opened a second cohort and have nearly 60 applications for the classes that are starting in September. And we're partnering with companies like CSI to provide capstone projects and paid work and internship experiences. You may also not know, we plan to offer similar programs soon in quality assurance and testing and other digital areas like cybersecurity. You may know that local 5th through 8th graders recently began participating in our Youth Coding League, an after-school program that teaches programming and analytical thinking skills. But you may not know that McNabb Elementary beat dozens of schools from 5 states last spring and brought home some impressive prizes and hardware. You may know that high-quality jobs are the key to generating more local economic impact, but you may not know we estimate our efforts over the next 3 years will create jobs that generate over $15 million in annual economic impact in the region. And finally, you may know and be excited about the new sports complex being developed, but you may not know that we're working with a group to bring an esports program and facility to Paducah, and that's all I can say about that. Thank you all very much. I'll turn it over to Bruce.
All right, thank you, Dr. Stapleton. And thank you all for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. On behalf of our GPED staff and our GPED Board of Directors, we thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. We always welcome and appreciate the opportunity to speak to different civic organizations and clubs and share the good news and the things that are going on within Greater Paducah economic development. In spite of the COVID restrictions that have been in place during the past year and a half, GPED has been successful. We've been winning. Over the past 12 to 14 months, GPED's announced 243 direct jobs with over $57 million in private sector capital investment. Utilizing our partnership with Murray State University and their M-Plan software, it's an economic modeling software, we know that these 243 direct jobs produced an additional 100 induced and indirect jobs, bringing the total job impact to 341. And these jobs have a recurring economic impact on our community of over $27 million per year. Many of you might have heard of some of these projects. I'll run through them quickly for you, but we were fortunate in backfilling the lost Genova jobs with plastic services and products out of Salt Lake City, Utah, relocating NRE jobs from Hagerstown, Maryland to Paducah, a Kaleo Technologies expansion and relocation project, and a new building out at the Commerce Park to house the FBI, the ATF, and the DEA offices and their personnel. Most recently, in June, we announced 35 additional jobs with Blockware Mining, Inc., a cryptocurrency company, and Millwork Product, a local industrial manufacturer. Many of you have heard that economic development's a long game. It certainly is. These 2 projects that we just announced in June, they'd been in our pipeline for well over a year. Our success with these projects has also generated an additional need and a corresponding confidence with our utility partners. Paducah Water will be constructing a 1 million gallon water tower out at Industrial Park West. Big Rivers Electric and Jackson Purchase Energy will be investing $13 million in additional electrical substation upgrades at Industrial Park West, yielding 100 megawatts of electrical capacity there. Joint Sewer Agency is already in the process of doing the engineering work and the design work to bring sewers out to the triple rail site. So all in all, these infrastructure and utility enhancements represent $20 million of additional capital investment in our community that will be used to continue to position ourselves for future growth. Some of you here this morning have heard me talk about Johnny Cash. I've used the analogy of Johnny Cash before, talking about economic development and sales. Johnny's the nice guy that wants to do whatever he has to do to get the sale. He's willing to give anything and everything away to get the sale or make the deal. Cash is the realist in the relationship. He recognizes the limited resources and the inherent challenges in getting the deal done. So Johnny and Cash don't always get along, but when they do, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm happy to share with you this morning that Johnny and Cash have gotten along quite well with the deals that we've done over the past year. As I mentioned, we had 243 direct jobs that we announced, $57 million in private sector capital investment, $27 million of recurring economic impact, and $20 million of utility infrastructure upgrades. To put the icing on the cake, though, we've been able to generate approximately $5 million in cash back to our community. I'll repeat that. GPED's been a part of generating $5 million of cash back to our community, back to the city, back to the county, and back to the IDA. So we are very, very proud of that accomplishment. That has enabled the city to be able to utilize a portion of their net equity proceeds to invest $900,000 into Sprocket. We like Sprocket. We love what Dr. Stapleton, Monica, your team, Inez, John, we like what you all are doing. We support you, and we're honored that we were able to help you guys out there and have a part in that. So we expect some great things from Sprocket in the future. Since joining GPED, I have advocated from day one about unity and having one voice in our community between GPED, the city, the county, our Industrial Development Authority, and the media. In December of last year, we completed what I believe to be a monumental task in that we set up our community for success for many, many years to come. We entered into a new interlocal agreement between the city, the county, GPED, and the Industrial Development Authority. Under that interlocal agreement, the IDA now owns and develops, manages, and maintains publicly owned property for economic development purposes. GPED is the entity that manages the day-to-day activities of the IDA and actually takes recommendations to the IDA board under the supervision and guidance of the IDA Board of Directors. The county has committed its TVA in lieu of tax monies that are specifically designated for economic development purposes to the IDA, and the city has agreed to match the county's TVA in lieu of tax money. So you ask, why is that so significant? The importance behind that is the IDA now has a formalized, designated revenue stream that we would be able to use to develop future site, make future acquisitions, and make developments to have an increased asset inventory for future job growth. So if you see any of our commissioners or elected officials this morning, I ask you to say thank you to Mayor Braid, Judge Clymer, even our past commissioners, Abraham, Watkins, McElroy, and even Mayor Harless. They have done a great job in working with us and positioning our community for future success. So we thank you all and commend you all for the work that you've done. I could go on and on this morning, but as Sandra and everyone's mentioned, we only had 7 minutes to talk. I'm going to use Dennis's 1 minute here now, but I'll start to wind things down. Many of you here might have heard, after a big meal, you might have heard your mother or grandmother say, "Save your fork, the best is yet to come," meaning that dessert's on the way. Well, I'm not your mama this morning, but I did bring my fork with me because I've got some dessert to share with you this morning. We have some great news to share with you today. Greater Paducah Economic Development is pleased to announce this morning that Drake Lighting is expanding to Paducah, Kentucky. Drake is the American distributor for the Canadian-based Technostrobe Incorporated. Drake Lighting is a distributor of obstruction lighting solutions. Drake's lighting solutions mark structures such as cellular communication towers, broadcast towers, industrial chimney stacks, and wind turbines that are federally required to be lit according to FAA standards. Drake will be investing $2 million into an existing facility, coupled with the construction of a warehouse and distribution facility in the coming months. Drake will be employing 60 full-time employees and generate an anticipated recurring community economic impact of $6.8 million per year. When Sandra asked me to talk this morning, like she said, she asked me to share something that people don't know, something new, and what might be coming, or something fun. So I've probably shared with you some things this morning that you didn't know about the deals that we've done. Drake Lighting's the new announcement, something new. Now for something fun. When we were working on finalizing this deal, one day I was calling David Shepard. David's the president of Drake. And I could hear what seemed to be a lot of noise or air in the background. And I said, man, where in the world are you? And he said, oh, I'm 350 feet up in the air on a wind turbine. So David's not up in the air on a wind turbine this morning. We're honored to have him and Doug Jones, their new HR director, Sonia. They're here with us this morning. So please join me in welcoming them to our community. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I have. You all save your fork. We've got more coming.
Well, I also want to welcome our newest chamber member. I didn't put your name up there earlier because I wanted to leave it as a surprise, but welcome Drake Lighting to the Paducah Chamber. And Doug and Dave, we're so happy to have you here today. I want you to stand up and let us give you another round of applause. That's a huge, huge announcement for our community. So when we came back in person, I thought I'm not going to be quite as rigid on time. So we've been expanding to 8:35 for our breakfast ending time last month and this month. So Dennis, new news for you. I'm just sure the ladies' room at the new airport is going to be spectacular. Am I right? Please nod yes. I harass them frequently about the current ladies' room. So thank you. It's going to be spectacular. James, thank you so much for making that drive in the fog from Cape Girardeau this morning. And we know you're in Paducah on Thursdays and other times. Welcome. You did have the opportunity of meeting some of the people that were here with the first 50K, those startup companies last week, and there were a lot of rock stars there that will be such a good fit for Paducah. So good luck in picking those and making those final selections. And Bruce, yes, you did bring some good news today, and I know you've got a lot more coming, so we'll save our fort for more in the future. So thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, Mercy Health, for allowing us to go ahead and have our breakfast today, following our rules. But we really, really appreciate the support that we receive from Mercy Health. And we're going to draw for a door prize in just 1 second. But I do have one thing that I need audience participation in. So if you guys want to go back to your seat, Kathy McHaney with WKCTC is helping us to do a video that we're going to launch in October, and I really need your support. Boy, I couldn't ask for a more lively audience. I'm just looking around. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to count to 3. Well, first of all, I want everybody to stand up and do not leave the room. The doors are barred. You cannot leave the room. I know, I'm just full of fun this morning. So here's what I want you to do. On the count of 3, I'm going to want you to say, don't miss out. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to point at you. So they're going to record this, okay? So could you maybe move your arms and have a little life about you? It's really not that hard, guys. Look, I suggested to Dr. Stapleton, and he just brought so much energy up. Okay, here's a practice one. Don't miss out. That's what it is, okay? You can read it over here if you can't remember it. 1, 2, 3.
Don't miss out.
Was that pretty good? All right, one more time, and then this time keep your hands up in the air, okay? Here it is again, in case you can't remember it. On the count of 3, I'll point at you, and we'll do it, okay? And then we're going to draw for door prizes. 1, 2, 3.
Don't miss out.
Thank you so much. All right. That'll be the big reveal for the September breakfast. We have 3 door prizes from Mercy Health. Again, thank you so much. I'm just going to say you can always find out more about our events at paducahchamber.org. We want your blood. Sign up out in the lobby. Our September breakfast, we hope and pray, will be right back here in person, probably be masked up again. Maybe not, but we'll see. Judge, we're hoping we go down on the red zone for the county. We're doing everything we can, right? to get us back. But that breakfast is sponsored by Whitlow, Roberts, Houston, and Straub, and we have U.S. Congressman James Comer as our speaker, and we'll be kicking off our membership campaign. And Dr. Reese, I just have to tell you, I love your mask, and I love the fact that it says West Kentucky Community and Technical College, but it's upside down. Anything else before we draw for door prizes?
Hey, Sandra,
Yes.
these are for cars, not for clothing.
Ju-
Attack Chris Blackwell.
Judge Clymer snuck in some stickers on the United We Stand, and he says they are for your cars or a window in an office. So he brought those in this morning to share with everybody. Our three winners are Angela Copeland with Paducah Public Schools, Bob Turok with FMB Bank, and A.J. Collins, Leadership Paducah, Edward Jones. Thank you so much for being here today. It's 8:34. I beat our time. Have a great day.